a free transgender youth empowerment workshop happening right here in Metro Detroit. Here to share the details of this incredible event, Roz Keith, the president and founder of Stand With Trans, along with her son Hunter. Thanks for coming in this morning. I'll tell you what, talk to us a little and tell the viewers, what is Stand With Trans?
Stand With Trans is an organization that we're really fledgling, was started in February. It's a nonprofit that supports transgender youth, and its mission is really to provide the tools so the kids feel empowered, supported, validated, and are able to really live as they're meant to live.
And help the kids.
And help, yeah.
More
absolutely.
than anything. You know, tell us about how this all came together and what prompted you in February to move. What moved you to do this?
We have been on a journey for probably close to 3 years. In 8th grade, Hunter came out to us as transgender. And once we got past the initial, oh my gosh, I don't know what this means, and the Googling and the research, we realized that there were so few resources out there in the community for these kids. Really little to nothing. I mean, now my news feed is flooded, but that wasn't the case nearly 3 years ago. So it was identifying the need and really trying to pull this together so the kids who needed support and needed to know how to transition could get that information and resource.
Yeah, and believe it or not, you said it yourself, now your news feed is flooded with that. It's almost like as if it is, what you're doing is really helping people. And Hunter, I mean, for you, how has the organization and your parents helped you move along? And we're just talking about some of your friends here in this picture as well.
I think that, like, what happens when a trans kid is supported, it's just, you really are empowered and you feel like you can do anything and you're not ashamed of who you are. And for a long time, I kept it to myself because I was weird. But when I learned the term and I started learning that there were other people like me and I wasn't alone, that's what gave me the courage to speak out and to tell my parents and to tell my community. And since then, like, once I've transitioned, I have been so much happier as just a person, and I've become such like an advocate because hearing the stories of kids hurting themselves, of kids killing themselves, which is something that happens way too often in the trans community, it really affects everyone in the trans community. Everyone hears about it. So, like, what Stand With Trans does is it finds a way to empower, like, other kids like me, so then it prevents them from killing themselves and hurting themselves.
Absolutely. And to think that your parents and your mom is right behind it. We appreciate you guys. You know you're not weird, so I appreciate you coming in, both of you.
Police are investigating a bizarre crime at a church on the city's west side. A man threatened the pastor with a brick, and in retaliation, the pastor allegedly shot and killed him. 7 Action News reporter Camille Amiri joins us live from police headquarters with the latest. Camille.
And right now, sources tell us that the pastor's mother was actually threatened before everything happened today. And we are also hearing that this was not an isolated incident.
Everybody want to start? Now we're trying church when you work.
Emotions running high outside the City of God Church on Detroit's west side. Witnesses refusing to talk to the media as police investigate a fatal shooting involving a man armed with a brick and the pastor of the church.
This is the church where the shooting happened. We're told it happened during church service, and right now we haven't seen anyone come in or out of here yet this morning, but police have confirmed that they have questioned that pastor and he has been released. The man who was shot to death is pictured here, Deontay Smith, and his family says this shooting was not self-defense, but part of a much larger dispute.
The pastor was having an affair with my nephew Deontay's wife. And this is the outcome of it all.
Smith's family members tell 7 Action News Deontay and his wife had been having issues for some time. They say the pastor at the City of God ministry was someone Deontay counted on.
He looked at his pastor as a father figure, you know what I'm saying, because he didn't have his.
Family members claim Deontay's wife became pregnant and miscarried the baby, and Deontay found out it wasn't his.
To find out somebody who you call your father, the only dad you know as your pastor, and to find out he's sleeping with your wife, what would you do?
They don't believe he went to church to injure the pastor, just to confront him.
It didn't have to end like this for him. He was a great boy. Great boy.
Again, that pastor has been questioned and released, but police say this investigation is far from over. They are continuing to interview witnesses and friends.
Stabbed multiple times in the head and back, according to witnesses, a 9-year-old boy falls victim to his knife-wielding 20-year-old brother. This neighbor heard the cries for help and ran to the scene.
I heard the kids and the girls, in this house, screaming, and I ran quickly there inside the house. He's bleeding, from his back like crazy, and the floor is full of blood.
The Now's cameras were rolling on Stedman Street in Dearborn last night as police arrived. After the boy was treated, the older brother was taken into custody around the block a short time later.
People dressed in zombie costumes filled the streets of downtown Fort Myers, Florida. Many carried cell phones to capture ZombieCon festivities. What ended up being caught on camera was chaos. Witnesses say they heard anywhere from 8 to 10 gunshots.
The guy followed right there. They're right there in front of me. I mean, right here, and the body's right there.
Several videos posted to social media show participants running away from the scene. Fort Myers Police Lieutenant Victor Medico hopes the suspect's image was also caught on someone's cell phone.
There was a lot of witnesses down here, a lot of people taking pictures, using their cell phones for video. Anything that could help us with this investigation would be greatly appreciated.
Officers had a tough time in the early stages of the investigation with so many people dressed up in torn clothes and fake blood. 20-year-old Expavius Tyrell Taylor was shot and killed. He played football at ASA College in Miami. Friends began posting tributes on Facebook almost immediately. His sister, Amanda Andrews, says Taylor will be missed.
He was an uncle to my kids. I have to explain to my 8-year-old that he'll never get to see him again because somebody took his life.
5 other people were injured. Police say they will all be okay. This is the second time in a week that a shooting has taken place in the downtown area. Some who attended ZombieCon have had enough.
I definitely wouldn't bring myself here next year because I don't feel safe.
A woman's doctor in Detroit is under investigation, suspected of performing illegal abortions. A local medical system has now also revoked that doctor's hospital privileges since police began investigating. Dr. Michael Arthur Roth first came under scrutiny after he hit a special needs child with his car, causing critical injuries. Police then found 14 containers of human tissue in his car, along with a large amount of a drug called fentanyl, used to for sedation and pain. Police have also searched that doctor's home.
It's frightening to think that if there's a physician out there that is behaving that way. It makes you wonder, why would he be carrying fentanyl in his car unless he's doing something at a clinic himself? And then, is the tissue being used for research or what?
An abortion doctor in South Carolina was also arrested. Operation Rescue reports it was a well-known traveling late-term abortionist from Florida named James Pendergraft. Spartanburg County Sheriff Chuck Wright reports Pendergraft was arrested with surgical tools covered in blood and human tissue. He was also in possession of narcotics. Sheriff Wright accused Pendergraft of operating an illegal mobile abortion clinic. Operation Rescue reports his medical license in Florida was suspended. His wife was also arrested, charged with intent to sell marijuana out of the trunk of their car.